This is going to be a tactics video. Now, over on my Patreon channel, which is listed up here, I posted a link to a video that was done by the ROTC detachment at the University of Iowa called Tactics Platoon Raid. I will put a link in the description of this video for you to watch that video. I highly recommend it. One of their instructors did a video explaining the elements of what's required in a raid. And it got me thinking, how can we adapt that to early in the war? Now, in this scenario I'm going to be doing, the war has just begun. It's only been going on for a week, maybe 2 weeks. We have not captured any significant enemy weapons yet. We may have picked up some small arms, maybe some M4s, some M16s, maybe some sidearms, but that's about it. We have not captured any grenade launchers or any automatic weapons. We have a enemy detachment that has been conducting raids in the area. These raids have been terrorizing civilians. They also succeeded in capturing and killing a few militia members who were en route to their rallies for their unit, or they had gone back home to pick up additional supplies because they found out they had forgotten something or we needed something extra. We thought the enemy activity was not significant yet and they would be able to perform that task without getting caught, but they got picked up for one reason or another by this enemy detachment. The size of this detachment is a platoon minus. It's not a full strength platoon. The detachment is equipped with MRAPs. They also have a couple Humvee gun trucks. They are a mix of mercenary and law enforcement. These are people that are on the fanatic level. Now, what the detachment did, they took over a trucking company as their base of operations. So we have here the trucking company, which is surrounded by cyclone fencing or chain link fencing. They have a main building here which has bays for repairs of vehicles and trailers here. The office half of the building is up here. There is a second level which is used for storage of parts for use inside the maintenance shop. Over here is a shed of larger repair parts that could not be stored on the second level. We have parking area here that was used by the employees for parking their vehicles. There is also employee parking right here. Now, this maintenance shed would also have a small stock of fuel for checking things out that have been repaired. We have the tractors over here. The semi-trucks are parked along this fence line, and the trailers get parked along this fence line over here. They blocked off one of the entrances with one of the semi-tractors. They parked it right in front to make sure that no one can come in, so they're limiting their entry into here through this gate down here. They put in a sandbag emplacement there as their little gate guard shack. There is a roving guard that roves this fence line at night, and there is a roving guard that roams this fence line at night. This building we have seen no one going in and out of when we have kept it under observation. There is at least 2 people that roam the top of the building for security at all times. Now, we've done initial recons on this, and we've determined that the best time to hit this is at night. They typically have not launched out too many raids at night. for some reason, even though doctrinally nighttime is the best time to conduct raids. But they've been getting extremely arrogant in their success, and the fact that very few people have shot back at them. The ones who have met violent ends very quickly. So the nighttime, they're sleeping. Now, when we were doing our reconnaissance, we were also gathering as much information as we could about the facility, especially the layout on the interior. We know that there is only 2 exit doors in and out of this facility. One here, which enters into a hallway. Back here is the driver's lounge. This is the office area. Off the side of it is a door into the bay, the maintenance area. There is a door here on the side from the maintenance area that comes out to where the trucks are parked. There is through doors, this side and this side, for trucks to be brought in, that they can be driven into the bays and driven out. There is no door on this side exiting the building. There is one door inside here in the driver's lounge, which is an emergency exit. There is no way to open it from the outside, and it is alarmed. So if the door is opened, the alarm sounds inside the building. That alarm is on a battery system. It is not hooked into the electrical for the building. So if we were to cut the power, that door would still sound. We have 3 offices here for low-level executives of this company. The president of this company has this corner office here, and this area is where all the dispatchers and low-level office people work. That's what we've been able to find out from questioning former employees, because obviously they've lost their jobs now. The company's been taken over. We've also found that out from customers and suppliers, anyone who could have potential information on this facility, which could be a garbage man, it could be your UPS delivery person who drops off the parts for the maintenance bay, anyone who could have potential information. We gather as much intel as we can. Now, in order to conduct this operation, we need to outnumber the number of personnel that are inside the facility during the time of the raid. Now, if we determine that we cannot launch this raid while everyone is inside the facility, we wait till they launch out one of their little strikes, and then we conduct our raid after they've left. The attackers need to outnumber the defenders. Now, according to the ROTC instructor, there's 3 requirements for conducting a raid. First is speed and surprise. We need to get in there quickly, we need to get in there quietly, so that the enemy is not aware that we've gotten into position, that we're about to launch our assault. And once we launch our assault, we need violence on the objective. You need to show no mercy, put the enemy down as fast as possible, and make sure they are down. And we need to have a planned withdrawal, more than just saying, okay, when this sounds, everybody gets the hell out of Dodge. There needs to be a planned way on how we're going to fall back, the routes we're going to take to fall back, what we're going to do as we're going. Now, the 4 main elements we need for this raid, we need a security element, a support by fire element, and 2 assault elements. If need be, one of these assault elements can be kept as a reserve. But we've determined that in this raid, because of the size of the facility and number of personnel that are going to probably be inside, both assault elements need to go in at the same time. Now, we move into position, we drop our rucks off in the distance, and then we move forward to do a leader's recon and to put in our overwatch. This over side of the road over here is farm field. This around here is grassland, wooded, some farmland and stuff. This area up in here is mowed grass. The road is asphalt. This is a secondary road. This facility is located on the edge of a community. The community was located in this direction down here, a couple miles down. Now, we do not know if there are any prisoners being held inside the facility. We believe if they are, they're probably going to be held somewhere in one of these offices. But we do not know for certain. Now we move in, we do our leaders recon. We already have our initial plan written up on how we're probably going to conduct this. During the leaders recon, we're going to think about that plan, see what the current situation is, and see if the plan will work, if it is still feasible. If it is not, what changes need to be made. And while the leaders recon is going on, the rest of the platoon that we are sending in is preparing. They're making sure their weapons are for sure good to go. They are functional. Their magazines are topped off. Everyone knows what their job is supposed to be. They're doing some quick rehearsals on what to do, like lining up on beside a door, breaching a door, and going in. Now, we've already brought with us, we've determined in order to conduct this raid, some police door and barricade breaching tools. These we had already built before the war, or we had them built at a machine shop or a welding shop that is supportive of the militia and what's going on. We've also brought some bolt cutters with us, not just wire cutters, bolt cutters, to cut through the chain link fencing. Now, we have our Overwatch is going to be located in here. It's a few people that are part of the support by fire and security elements. They're keeping watch on the building here as best they can. Since this is the only entrance in and out, there's no gates anywhere else. They're keeping a close watch on this to see who comes in, who comes out. Leaders Recon comes back. They brief the plan to the rest of the platoon, and then they start moving forward. They get to their release point, and then they start positioning their elements. Now, the militia unit that is doing this is a 4-squad platoon. 3 of the squads are rifle squads equipped with ARs, lever action rifles, and shotguns. We have 1 MBR squad, 1 main battle rifle squad. They are equipped with 30 caliber rifles. Most of them are semi-automatics. A couple of them are bolt actions with scopes. Of our squads, our first squad and our second squad are going to be our Assault 1, Assault 2. Our third squad has been tasked with security. Our fourth squad, which is the MBR squad, will be our support by fire, because they are the heaviest weapons we have in this platoon. The general strength of our platoon is around 80%. We will cross-level people back and forth to make sure that Assault 1 and Assault 2 are at full strength. But we're not going to take so many people that we weaken the security and the support by fire so much that they cannot accomplish their missions. Now, we've also determined we want some heavier firepower with the security elements, so we will be pulling 2 riflemen with semi-automatic rifles from the support by fire, putting them with the security squad. The security squad will be kicking over 2 people to the support by fire. Those people could be people with lever actions, but more than likely they're going to be ARs. Now, if we've been able to accomplish this up to this point, if we've been able to build any Sten submachine guns or some other type of automatic weapon, if we've been able to build any type of fragmentation grenade or device, those will be concentrated in the assault squads. If there were any bolt action rifles that were in the first squad or second squad, the people carrying those were transferred over to the security element. And then we brought over people carrying ARs, or at a minimum, lever action rifles. Now, if we do have any home production Sten guns, they would go to the people carrying the lever action rifles. They would use their lever action rifle till they got to the building, and then once they enter the building, they transition over to the Sten gun or homemade submachine gun. Now, we start by first putting in our security elements. We have our blacktop road here, which is our high-speed avenue of approach. So we're going to locate in security element up here. One team from the security squad. They're going to be watching down the roadway this way. They're also going to keep watch on this side of the fence, and as best they can, this area in here using binoculars. One person watching there, everybody else is going to be watching and set up for watching that roadway. While they're getting set in, we have another element that's going to set up down here. The second team from the security squad. They're going to be watching the road going down that way. They're also going to keep watch on this side of the fence. We have our support by fire that's going to move into position not long after that. We're going to split our stuff again. We have SBF 1 here. Their fields of fire is going to be from the corner of the fence line here to that corner of the building. We have a support by fire team here. SBF 2. They're covering from here to this corner of the building. Once these elements are in position, our Assault 1 and Assault 2, who are located farther back, will start moving forward as covertly as possible. This element over here, the security team, is going to keep watch on this rover at all times. This security element here is going to keep watch for when they see him, this rover back here, get up to the corner. And we know how long it's going to take him to get from here down to here and back. So when he gets up to that corner, he maybe gives a signal that, hey, he's at this corner this time. Our Assault 1 will move up to here. Short of the fence, they're staying hidden in the tall grass. Our Assault 2 will be coming in over here. Now, our Assault 1 and Assault 2 will both have silent weapons. Because we have a chain link fence here, we're not going to be able to sneak up behind this guy and slit his throat. We probably do not have any silencers. If we do, well, we'll try to put them in play. But if we don't, Our next best option would be bows and crossbows. So when the rover gets into position for the right shot, the bowman takes him out, drops him on the ground. These guys then signal by radio to the platoon sergeant, who's up over here with the support by fires, that the rovers have been taken out. Then that's the signal for the support by fire to open up on the front of the building. They take out the rovers up on top of the roof during their initial shots. Those guys should be taken out by people with scoped rifles. The semi-autos and the rest of that stuff start shooting on the front of the building here. They're blowing out the windows. They're trying to draw the enemy elements, which is inside. Some of them are here in the driver's lounge. Some of them are up inside the parts room on the second floor, to get them into the front of the building here to start shooting back. Now if they open up one of the bays to pull out an MRAP to get a vehicle in there with a heavier weapon system, well, then we got a breach going in, don't we? So these guys are opening up here, and while they're firing, Assault 1 and Assault 2 are cutting their way through the fence with the bolt cutters. They're cutting in just enough that you can crouch and get through the gap in the fence. They get through, take positions up behind the trucks, behind the trailers, keeping watch as best they can up in here. When they're in position, they radio in that they're ready to move to the next phase. They're going to assault towards the building. Now, if we got comms problems, we may have to have kicked one person from either Assault 1 or Assault 2 here to the corner. These guys would give some type of signal to him that they're moving through. And then he would signal these guys that they're going in, and that they should go in also. Once they're through the fence, someone here, as a backup, flashes a flashlight to someone over here on Security 2, letting them know that they're going in. And then Security 2 sends the signal up to the support by fire. We're trying to create a little bit of redundancies in case radios don't work or there is too much loud noise from the weapons fire that people aren't hearing the traffic on the radio. We move in. Assault 1 comes up through the trucks. They make sure this guy for sure is down. They put one round in there, blowing his head apart, just in case the arrow didn't do the job. We come up to the edge of the trailers. If we got none of the bays are open, move up to the building, move alongside, stack by the door. Assault 1's task is to clear the front half of the building. Assault 2 comes in on signal. They go up, stack next to the door. We use our police breaching tools because we do not have explosives yet, and we go in. Assault 2 clears the bay and the second level. Assault 1 breaches, gets in. They leave a couple people here covering the door going this way. Maybe one of them keeps an eye going this way. The rest of their squad moves in, clears up in here. But most of the enemy should be up here in the front already shooting out this way. We get this area cleared first, then everyone comes back and they start clearing in through here. Clear this area first. If these doors are closed, they keep people posted on those, watching for them to get opened. This door is open. We know people are shooting from here. We get in there. We take care of these people in here. We then systematically go through and clear those offices. The guys that came in here, they check the vehicles, make sure no one's inside, keeping watch on the stairway in case anyone comes down. After they've secured this area, they go up and secure the second level. Now, when they go in, they're breaching in the door. These guys should see it. They let them know, hey, we need to shift fires or slack our fires. These guys should have some type of signal that they're going to set off in here to let people know that they're assaulting through. So maybe we've created our own little flashbang. Something that's going to produce a very bright flash. We know this is a big open area. We open the door, we toss it in. It goes off, creates a huge flash. We see that out here. Then these guys cease fire and they start clearing the interior in here. Now, if we find any prisoners or potential prisoners anywhere in here, we still keep them under guard because we do not know for certain that they were prisoners. It could be one of the enemy personnel pretending to be a prisoner. And I don't care if it's a woman who's on top of a desk getting done by a group of guys. Still consider her as a potential threat. You don't know what her background is. Unless you recognize her and knows that she is a friendly, assume the possibility that she's a hostile. So you will keep them off to the side, separated and under watch. Every one of the enemy troops in here gets double tapped, meaning you shoot them more than once. You put them down on the floor, you think they're dead, you're going to put another round in them. Like I said with the rovers out here, put a bullet in their head. Blow their head apart. That's a great way to tell that, hey, that person ain't going to be moving no more. These guys go through, gather up all the weapons, all the ammunition that they can, and get it ready for transport out. Maybe have a couple locations where they can gather the stuff up and then load the stuff on themselves as they're leaving. Now we have some type of signal to let these guys know when it's time to withdraw. It could be that we fire off a flare from a flare gun that we have. Maybe we got a homemade smoke grenade that we're going to toss out in the lot here that's right inside the path of one of the light poles. It's a colored type smoke, and then everyone knows that that is the signal. When we see the smoke grenade here, they make sure to pass the information to their right and left to make sure everybody knows. This position here, it's possible that people in there are still holed up. Well, if that's the case, if we capture some type of grenades or something in there, or an anti-tank weapon, we use it against that position. Maybe we'll, while we're clearing this stuff here, we'll have a couple people up in here that are pouring in fire from the back here, or at least keeping watch, while we send a couple people outside to take care of this position and knock it out. And then we would go through, do our stripping. We're going to take radios, we're going to take maps, we're going to take overlays, we're going to take operations orders, whatever we can get a hold of. We then get out of there. We'd start our withdrawal when the signal comes. So then everyone will then exit this door here, through the gate, and out. Now, we don't leave those vehicles and stuff in there for the enemy to use. We can't use them. So, we'll disable them. Best way to do it, set fire to them. And then as they're burning, they're probably going to destroy the building also, get it to collapse in on top of them. As the people are coming out, the squad leaders are counting off all their people. Make sure everyone's alive. The wounded are going out with them. Those potential prisoners are brought out also. They will be moved up here to the corner on the street and kept under guard there while we're pulling out. We don't want them next to the building as it's burning, just in case. In case they are just neutrals or friendlies. But we're pulling out. Assault 1, Assault 2 is across. That's verified by the platoon sergeant who's down in here. The platoon leader, if you're wondering, he would have gone in on one of these assaults. Either 1 or 2, whichever he figured would be the main focus of this raid. And my guess is it would be Assault 1. Platoon sergeant verifies that everyone has made it across, everyone's made it out. Once they've done that, then SBF 1, SBF 2, pull down 2, and they pull out also. The signal's given. These guys know they have X amount of time till they can pull out. Then they pull back. Everyone meets back at a rally point, and then you leave the area. Now, one variation on this, we could have vehicles waiting. Say out in the country somewhere out this way, we have some trucks waiting. Some pickups, some cargo trucks or whatever. The platoon sergeant radios in that, hey, they need to be brought up now. The trucks pull in front here, and then as we're coming out, we're loading those trucks up with whatever we captured along with ourselves, and then everybody pulls in, gets on the trucks, and we get out of the area. Head back off into the country most likely. These people here, after we pull out, they're on their own. If they were some of our people who were captured, we'll take them with. If they're family members of ours that were captured, we'll take them with. And we'll get them back home. If we don't know who they are, leave them there, point them in the direction of town just in case they don't know or if they're in shock, and we pull out. I highly recommend go watch that 40-minute video from the ROTC. And see what you can learn. I tried taking the basics on the raid and adapted it for a militia early in the war. Obviously later in the war we'd have more captured military weapons, where doing it by the standard, the way he lays it out, we could do it that way, but we have to adapt in the beginning here. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and militia movements, always remember, essayons.